Destiny, often equated with fate, is the unseen force speculated to shape our future. From a husband discovering his future wife in his childhood vacation photos to a man hitting the jackpot because of an itchy hand, there are countless astonishing instances that underscore the profound influence of destiny. Reunited Couple. In 2005, Natalie and her gal pal went on a holiday to enjoy the sunshine. Whilst there, one of their favorite places to enjoy a beverage or two, or three, or maybe four was a beachside club called Mambo's. It was here Natalie met a nice fella by the name of Trevor. They instantly hit it off and chatted all night and shared a cheeky kiss under the stars. After their night of romance, it was time for Natalie to say goodbye to Trevor as he was going back to London. They didn't exchange numbers, and Natalie took it as a nice night with a nice guy that she would remember for a while. A couple years went by, and she occasionally thought of Trevor and the night they shared in Goa, wondering what would have happened between them if they had shared numbers. It also happened that around that time, she and her friend had planned on going back to Goa for another holiday. On the Saturday night, they headed to their favorite place, Mambo's. They had a great night drinking, dancing, and talking to other holiday goers. It wasn't until the bar was closing that she saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was Trevor. He was on holiday also. The fact that it was both their first time back to go after their chance meeting and that they should be in the same place at the same time proves these two had destiny working on their side, and yes, this time they did exchange numbers. Needless to say, they got engaged, and the location they got engaged in was surprise, Goa. Match made at Disney. Before their wedding day, a guy called Alex was going through some old photos. He was shocked to discover an image of him and his siblings at Disney also featured his soon-to-be father-in-law and his future wife as a toddler. The picture had been taken 20 years previously. What makes this encounter seem even more like destiny was that when growing up, the couple lived in different countries' Disney-themed wedding. Anyone? Mistaken identity. Back in 2009, Styler opened his Facebook using his flip phone. Oh, how times have changed. To his surprise, he found that he was logged into someone else's account, a woman by the name of Celeste and someone he had never met before. Every time he tried to log in, it would always go to her account. After contacting Facebook and trying different methods for fixing the problem themselves, the only way that worked was once Celeste sent Styler a friend request. Once that had happened, he was able to log out of her account and go into his own. After becoming Facebook friends, the two started talking and realized that they had quite a lot in common. Their Facebook friendship went on for 4 years before they finally met in person. Facebook friendship turned into something more, and they got engaged in the summer of 2013. Good job, Facebook. Fridge the cat. You may call it a sixth sense, an uncanny ability, or just plain mysterious, but cats have proven many times of their special powers. A lady by the name of Wendy found out the power of cats firsthand when hers detected something that even the doctors hadn't. One day, Fridge, yes, that's her cat's name, started acting strangely by suddenly jumping on her breast while she was in bed. This went on for a couple of weeks, bewildered by what her cat was doing. She decided to take it as a sign and went to a physician. What the doctors found was a malignant tumor in one of her breasts the size of a pea. Thankfully for Wendy, she was able to receive chemotherapy to have it removed successfully. We can certainly say that Fridge is the one to thank for this happy ending. It's not uncommon for animals to detect and pick up on illnesses and ailments in humans. For example, a test was conducted in Japan of how well dogs could identify people with colorectal cancer, and the end results show that they had 98% accuracy. Itchy hand. This man was destined to win the lotto, and all thanks to an itchy hand. One morning, he woke up to an itch in his palm. Seeing this as a bit of a sign, he gave his son a couple of dollars to go and buy a scratch card. From that scratch card, he got back £7. From his winnings, he decided to invest in a lotto ticket. This was probably the best £7 this guy ever spent, as he ended up winning over £220,000. As anyone would be, he was in total disbelief when he watched the numbers announced on the TV screen and wait until the next day to double-check his winnings, and all thanks to an itchy hand. In search of a kidney. Ashley had no idea who Danny was when she heard from her mother. He was searching for a kidney on a local radio show. All she knew was that he was the same age and had already been through some pretty rough times. At the age of 16, he was diagnosed with IgA nephropathy and inflammatory kidney disease. He had kidney failure for 3 years and was working as an electrician full-time to pay for his 4-hour stints of dialysis 3 nights a week to stay alive while he waited for the right donor for a transplant. It seemed none of his family was eligible, and the anonymous donors who volunteered weren't compatible either. Ashley was upset by this, and with the next day being her 25th birthday, she decided to call Danny's mom and ask to be considered as a donor. After going through blood tests, physical and psychological exams, it turned out she was a perfect match for a transplant. Up until this point, Ashley decided she didn't want to meet Danny or his family in person until she knew it was all a go. What were the chances that when they finally did meet, they fell in love? On the night of their surgeries, Danny gave Ashley an inscribed jewelry box with the words, "Ashley, you're an angel, Danny," with it playing the song "I'll Be There" by the Jackson. With the transplant happening in April 2014, Danny asked Ashley to marry him on Christmas Day later that year. Want to know something cute that truly does show that this was the power of destiny? Danny's mom even said that before Danny had met Ashley in person, she was convinced he was going to marry her. Twist of fate. In 1985, Dr. Shannon saved the life of a premature baby given a 50-50 chance of survival. Chris was several weeks early and weighed just 2 pounds under Dr. Shannon's care and was able to live a normal, healthy life. Fast forward several decades, and Dr. Shannon was driving in California when he was involved in a severe car crash with a truck. Pinned to the floor, he was unable to move as his vehicle caught fire, and the flames started to burn his legs. One of the first rescuers on site was a paramedic, Chris, the person Dr. Shannon saved earlier in life. Of course, they did not find out about this incredible twist of fate until Dr. Shannon had been taken to the hospital. Against all odds, Brandy's worst day was also the day she met her future husband. One evening, she went out to buy pizzas for her family. She was already a bit nervous, as she was worried that the used car her mom had recently purchased was unsafe. On the road, she ended up losing control, slamming into an embankment and sliding off the road. Firefighters were quick to get to the scene, and Brandy was rescued by firefighter Dustin, who ran and pulled her from the car. Brandy spent a month in rehab recovering, and 5 months later, Brandy's mom set up a meeting to thank all the people involved who helped rescue her daughter. This is where this picture was taken, showing Brandy and her rescuer by the fire truck that went out on the day of her accident. In interviews of the event, Brandy admitted that she could feel that it was the start of something between her and Dustin. They said their goodbyes and life went on as normal. A couple months down the track, Brandy's cousin asked if she wanted to go on a double date. The guy was a friend of a friend and was said to be really nice. Thinking it would be fun to go on a blind date, Brandy said yes. It turned out her blind date was none other than her rescuer, Dustin. Taking it as a sign, from that point on, the duo were inseparable. Preschool sweethearts. Now this love story sounds like it came right out of a teenage rom-com. Matt and Laura's friendship spanned many years, starting off as toddlers at preschool. In fact, one of Matt's earliest childhood memories was him declaring that he would marry her someday in front of their whole class. However, after preschool, the lovebirds lost touch up until freshman year in high school, when they reconnected through a mutual friend. They hit it off, and within 2 weeks they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and sticking to his preschool pledge. The couple got married in December 2016. Subway romance. After finding out her future husband was having an affair on her wedding day, this bride-to-be ditched her event sobbing. Angry and frustrated, the only place she could think of to go was to the subway. Being a girl in a huge wedding dress, crying and getting a ride on the subway, naturally, she attracted a lot of attention and sideways glances. Once the train had come to a stop, a man appeared and tried to lift her mood, took her by the hand and led her out of the subway carriage as though he were her groom. They are both now happily married. Piece of art. A writer on the site Picnew wrote of how her and her partner got together. It was her first day of 7th grade, and she had become interested in a cute boy in her class. One day, he decided to sit at the desk in front of her and gave her this picture, stating that one day that would be him and her. From that point on, they were inseparable. However, she was insistent that they just be friends, as she didn't want to lose her best mate. Years later, when they were both sophomores in high school, she had a defining moment that changed everything. The night before one of the pep rallies, her and some friends were making shirts with their favorite football player's last name on the back. Every single one of them had put down the name Jones 57. It was then she realized that she wanted to be the only girl with his name on her shirt. The next day at the pep rally, he caught wind of her change of feelings and put his arm around her waist for a picture. Remind you of a certain drawing created years earlier. This cute couple were destined to get together. Which example of destiny did you think was the most amazing? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.